Yesterday we had a glorious celebration here in our parish, our first Holy Communion for our second graders. And I think I comment every year, it has to be my favorite day of the entire year. All the families come together. Our second graders are so wide-eyed and nervous and full of this innocent faith as they are about to receive for the first time this greatest gift imaginable. It's the gift that you and I receive, and it's given out at every celebration of the Eucharist. This real presence of our risen Lord in glory, who desires to unite himself to us. The Eucharist is fundamentally what the Easter event is all about. The Son of God, risen in glory, now lives forever. And he wants to live in and with each of us. He comes to us most powerfully in this sacrament of the Holy Eucharist, and he desires then to change us and empower us so that we might live out that communion with him more fully each day. Our first reading from the Acts of the Apostles, St. Luke, recounts an example of this, how the apostles had encountered the risen Lord, how they had preached about him, how they had then been arrested twice and imprisoned, and now for the third time, they're given strict orders to stop teaching in his name. But how does Peter respond? He must be tempted to fear and to act to protect himself. Certainly he has not forgotten how just days before, during our Lord's Passion, he has succumbed to such fear, denying even knowing him. But now there is no denial. And there is no fear. He says boldly, we must obey God rather than men. And my dear brothers and sisters, this is the boldness that you and I are meant to live. We probably won't be arrested or imprisoned, but almost every day you and I face situations that test our faith. The culture that is so corrupted by so many godless voices and influences cannot help but affect us. And also because of our weakness and our sin, we can be tempted and succumb so easily to all of those things that can afflict us, greed and ambition and lust and envy. And so as our second graders came yesterday, so wide-eyed and excited to receive our Lord, we're meant each Sunday to come here, to be awed and to be overwhelmed in this encounter with our risen Lord, so to follow him more closely each day. Our gospel shows that in a very practical manner. The apostles had been working the night and had caught nothing as they were fishing. They returned to shore. Jesus tells them to drop the net on the other side of the boat. They do so. There's this unbelievably large catch of fish. John says to Peter, it is the Lord. And I think this scene is an example for all of us. How often we hear the advice or the instruction of the Lord that is given to us in the church, and how often it will conflict with what others say. And who do we follow? Sometimes when we follow those other voices, it invariably leaves us empty and sad. We do just what the opposite of what Peter urged us in our first reading to do, to obey God rather than men. And then there is this second scene of our gospel, this overarching principle that should guide us in all we do. Jesus asks Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me? 3 times he poses that question, reminiscent of those 3 times on the night of his arrest. Peter denied even know him. But 3 times now, Peter says, yes, Lord. And 3 times Jesus tells him to show that love in his action toward others. This dialogue is not just for Peter. It's for you and me. Do we love the Lord? Truly. Because if we do, then that must be the most basic motivation that directs us in all that we do. If If we love the Lord, then God will bless us with the grace and the courage to always act in a manner consistent with that love. If we love the Lord, then we'll have a peace and a joy that only comes in the power of that love. If we truly love Him and strive each day to grow in our love of Him, then all of our joys will take on a deeper and more lasting quality, and all of our sufferings will be more easily endured. If we love the Lord, then coming to Mass here every Sunday will become an event in which we're filled with gratitude and anticipation as we come into this most intimate contact and communion with the one who we love. And if we truly love God more than anything else, we will fear nothing, because all of our trust and all of our confidence will be in Him. And so today, as we continue in our Easter celebration, let us ask God to increase our love for Him. Let us ask for the courage to live out each day more fully that love, to see it again as the primary motivation that guides us in all that we do. And may we then, like our second graders yesterday, come here each week with an exuberance and a joy as we encounter the living God here in this Eucharist, who comes to us now and who only wants to give us everything, sharing His life and His love with us.